So, just wanted to do this real quick live. Israel is reported to be attacked by Iran. So, the situation right now is that Iran has launched drones and possibly also missiles to Israel. It's going over Iraq. It's got to go over Syria and Lebanon, and then into Israel. And Jordan has put up a no-fly zone and said that it would shoot down any plane coming out of Israel. I haven't heard anything about Saudi Arabia, but you already know about Syria. You already know about Iraq. None of these countries are favorable to Israel at all. If this is true, the war that they talked about having is the war that they're getting ready to have. Now, back when 9/11 happened, many people today weren't even alive back then, but back when 9/11 was happening, all right, just make sure these chickens over here are in. Back when 9/11 was happening, it was reported that Dick Cheney and the boys under Bush had put together a plan to attack all these Middle Eastern countries and to do them in, and the last one would be Iran. So they've been trying to provoke Iran for quite some time, right? So quite some time. And if this is true that they finally have done it, also Iran has captured a ship, a container ship in the Strait of Hormuz. And this one was not from the Houthis. It was Iran itself, an Iran military helicopter ship. And that ship belonged to somebody in Israel. So we have a lot of action getting ready to happen here, or it's happening. And this is the reason why the co-creation communities are very important. This is the reason why having an understanding of who and what you are as beings of people is very important. Because what is getting ready to go down in your area, even though it might be as peaceful as what you're seeing here, which is beautiful mountains east of the Rockies, as I would always say, beautiful, but it is imperative that we keep our minds about ourselves and make sure that we continue on with the work that we're doing. But this could really be a serious mess. And again, it doesn't stop. Now, since the incident down there in Baltimore happened, there's been about 4 or 5 more incidents where ships have lost control. The latest one is in Pittsburgh. 29 barges somehow got loose and is floating down, I forget what river it is, but it's in Pittsburgh. And they had to shut down all of the major bridges over there and shut down a lot of the roads. 29 barges. And I believe they said that's about 24 of them were full and the rest of them were empty. And the main thing that they had in these barges was coal and other natural materials. So there's a lot of crazy stuff going on, right? A lot of crazy stuff going on. And, we just had that so-called eclipse. And if you've been watching some of the videos that I had, I told you it was the black sun. And if you looked at the orientation of the eclipse, it was coming in from basically underneath the west and going into the east. So it's supposed to set. OCO everyone, OCO. It's supposed to set to the west and rise in the east. So yes, we did have something that they couldn't stage, that they tried to cover up. And there's a manifestation that is happening right now that is happening to all beings that are on this planet. And that power that we're getting is extremely important. But back to Israel. Now, the other thing, if you haven't heard, they came to the United States, Israel, right? The Sanhedrin, their rabbis, and got two red heifers. Two red heifers. Now, if you know about the two red heifer prophecies, I won't go too deep into it now, but the red heifers is going to be sacrificed, and they have to have a certain, the red heifers have to be very, very, very particular for the sacrifice. They have to be extremely pure in blood, pure in their food. All kinds of things have to be done before these red heifers are accepted to be purified. And they got them from where? They got them from the Americas, the Americus, right? The Marucans. That's where they got the red heifers from this land, from the land that we're on. So you can tell how blessed we are. So when they already have the altar built, and what that means is that they are going to rebuild the Temple of Solomon, right? So the temple that's supposed to be on the Temple Mount, that now has the most sacred temple for the Muslims, is on there right now on the Temple Mount. I believe, with all the stuff going on, it's a convenient way for them to blow the thing up and to go ahead and build their temple. A lot of stuff. There's a potential of a lot of stuff that can happen right now, and it is crazy, crazy, crazy. So the most important thing, if you're of indigenous quality or of a being of light or want to be of the being of light and of indigenous in quality, you don't live in fear. You don't live in fear, right? So we, as the observer of all these things, we have the ability within our being right now as a collective, not as a single tribe, but as a collective, to be able to put things in place in this universal consciousness, because that's why we're here. That's why we're here on this universal plane right now, so that we can begin to start correcting all of the things that are going on, right? Because we are connected as one. We are one being. So I just wanted to come by, let everybody know about what's going on, what's happening. Keep your eyes and ears open. Be safe, everyone, right? Don't be afraid. Don't live in fear. Live in knowledge. Live in light. Shed light on the things of darkness so that will come to light. And then that way you can walk around with sight and not have fear at all. All right. So you don't have to walk around in fear. There's a lot of things that our beings of people that are doing to bring forth a universal, it's not just a universal consciousness. It's a change back into the system upon which we came out of. It's bringing back in the power that we originally had before they came, right? So just keep smiling and keep watching what they're doing, right? Because they're living out their history, but we are the correction. We are the correction. So everything is really based on our energy, because they have no creation power whatsoever. They have to use your fear. From your fear, they can feed off of you and have your energy in order for them to do what they're doing. So, I mean, if this is true, this is true. I mean, you got to think about this realistically now, because if this is true, Iran has launched and put out in public drones and missiles that are going to take hours to get to wherever it's going. Because they say by their morning time, they should be under attack. What military unit in their right mind is going to put out there before the attack happens that we're going to attack? So there's all kinds of things that they're trying to do in their consciousness to get you riled up in your consciousness. Don't let it happen. Don't let it happen. right? The programming that they have in their mind is given to them, just like they try to give it to us. But our programming that of our real consciousness is now beginning to start taking over. And because we can see what they are doing, we can see through everything that's happening. So Israel at this point right now is supposed to be under attack. There are about 100 drones, and God only knows how many missiles that are supposed to be on its way to Israel right now. Israel has placed in an emergency. Your President Biden, for all those who are voting in this system, and if you're indigenous, you're not really supposed to be voting in the system because of the goddess Gower and the way that we are as beings of people. We're not supposed to be having anybody that's above us because everyone else is really below us and all that other type stuff. But that's a story for another day. But your president says, what if Iran really is planning on launching? He says, don't, right? That's their headline, right? So be at peace. Be at peace. Know that all things are well. Know that all things are good. Know that all things are at peace. Know that what's coming in our world and our universal consciousness is goodness. Know that we are beings of light, of greatness, and whatever they got going on for themselves, let it be their hell, not ours. Great grand rising to us all. Peace be upon you. Mahalo.